They should really have that part of their neck filled in, because it just represents larger engagement all around. So like if I wanted to, let's show. Okay, so watch his nose. I haven't got it tied on over there, so I think I'm gonna have to do it. Good boy. Okay, so if I've got this rein right here and I go like this, I'm not going to do it today. There he goes. See that filling right here? That's how I want his head. And the white rope is putting pressure on his foal, which when you pull down on your reins, you can get a little bit of pressure right there also. When you're riding, there's not pulling that way. There's just different ways to shape him, basically. And you want to be able to ultimately shape the horse in a way that riding doesn't damage him physically, or doesn't as much as possible. So when you elevate the head, you fill in this spot right here and you cause him to take weight onto the hindquarters. And when the hindquarters engage, there we go. The back feet, ready? Yeah? Well, there you go. Okay. See how his back looks a little different than it did with him spread out? So when his back feet are placed under him like that, that's a more athletic position. Okay, well then compared to that, see how his back sags away a little more? So when his back feet are closer to his front feet, his back's going to be better able to carry the weight of a rider. So lifting up the head shifts the weight backwards, and he's able to close that gap a little bit easier. And keep this balance. You're such a sweet thing. You are. A little more. Come on. A little more. Perfect. He's like, I don't know what you want. We haven't worked on this very much. There you go. We did a little bit. And then lifting the head down causes them to stretch through the top line and around the top line. And so you need to be able to do both. And also a horse with their head lower is generally less prone to spooking, because it releases endorphins having it lower. They eat grass down there and all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, just want to be able to do both. I would say though that there's definitely a new trend to have horses' noses really far down because everybody's afraid that their horse is going to spook with them and stuff like that. And structurally, it's not as good for the horse for riding.
I have an unrelated question. When they poop, are they thinking? Is their brain working extra? I mean, I've heard this, that they're working extra hard and they're just maybe a little stressed, but they're.
Well, I would say pooping definitely is associated with stress. Like if they're pooping a lot more, they're definitely having a harder time. Definitely diarrhea too. Arabs tend to just poop all the time when they're getting started because they just get so scared. I mean, like when we started working with Sheik, and Sheik had a lot of training, and he just it was like 14 piles or something like that an hour. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it was everywhere. So.
And when they kind of lower their head and lick their lips, does that sort of mean, I get it?
Yeah, I would say that's chewing on a thought. They figured it out. But I would also say that I know, you're bored already. You're such a stud. I would say that a lot of people say that licking and chewing the lips means they're relaxed, I wouldn't say that's true. I would say it's correlated with relaxation, but you can have a horse that's so stressed that it starts chomping the bit, or you could have a horse that, is licking and chewing because it's got a sore in its mouth, or you could have a horse that's so stressed, I know, that they're able to lick and chew, but that, relatively speaking, it was one step down from terrified, and now they're still scared. So, I wouldn't, like, the things to me that indicate relaxation are being able to take one step forward and one step back fluidly. Like, he's probably a little bit introverted. He's not really on this game right now, but if I ask him to and he can, he's not scared. Horses who are scared just run right through your hand. When you ask them to go back, they're like, I'm not coming forward again. I like it out here. The other thing that I do is obviously I check like the lips, the ears, the flank, and the tail. And as long as I can move those pretty easily, they're doing okay. And then, this spot right here in the middle is my last thing that I check. If I check out the other ones, then they're fine, because that's where they might hide it. But, I look at their eyes a lot to see if they're stressed. This pony right now, I wouldn't say he, had the time of his life or anything. But what I always tell people is like it's like your first couple of days of skiing. Like, it has to be good enough that you want to come back. But it doesn't have to be like, what you really want skiing to be like, because that's just an unreasonable expectation. But, he's standing here pawing at me wanting more attention, and he wants me to love on him and stuff, so, I didn't do bad by him today, I wouldn't say. Yeah. Alright, so I might have a little girl ride him, and you're welcome to see the one stuff that I do, if you want, but you're also welcome to head out, because you've been here a long time.